Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our women's advanced Bible study night, the 18th of April, 2024. Okay, we'll be reading out of the book of Jeremiah later on in the class, picking up where we left off last week. You can go to our YouTube channel, the Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have a bunch of videos, over 900 or so. These videos will have a lot of information in it. And the videos will connect dots for you and lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures. If you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. And for those who want to support the channel, we have a cash app at the bottom of the screen. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay? So this is a non-Messianic channel. And by that I mean we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts. Okay? Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Women's Advanced Bible Study. We're going to do our normal, which is our moment of silence, prayer. We read the Psalms. We have some women's health moment. Then we have some current events and a little need to know information. Then we'll open it up for some Q&A, comments, and dialogue. Then we'll go into our topic for discussion, which is Book of Jeremiah. Okay. This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. So Lord, we come before Thee at this hour, praising You and honoring You because of Your position both in heaven and upon the earth, the position in which Creator Yahweh have given unto Thee. And through Your Spirit and counsel, oh Lord, we have awakened. We have awakened to know who we are as a people and who You are as our Savior and our Redeemer. And we are thankful for all that You have done, and we are eagerly searching out the Scriptures that we may be at the right place at the right time upon Your arrival here on this planet. We love You, O Lord, and we seek You daily, and there is none else besides Thee to redeem us. We see You in the affairs of the world, and we faithfully await Your deliverance. Peace be unto You. Okay? So with that being said, we're going to read the Psalms.
Shalom, everyone. I'll be reading Psalms 25. Unto Thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in Thee. Let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies trample over me. Let none that wait on Thee be ashamed. Let them be ashamed which transgress without cause. Show me Thy ways, O Lord. Teach me Thy path. Lead me in the truth and teach me, for Thou art the God of my salvation. On Thee do I wait all the day. Remember, O Lord, Thy tender mercy and Thy loving kindness, for they have been ever of old. 7. Remember not the sin of my youth, nor my transgressions. According to Thy mercy, remember thou me for Thy goodness' sake, O Lord. Good and upright is the Lord. Therefore will He teach sinners in the way. The meek will He guide in judgment, and the meek will He teach His way. All the paths of the Lord are mercy and truth unto such as kept His covenant and His testimonies. For Thy name's sake, O Lord, pardon mine iniquity, for it is great. 12. What man is he that feareth the Lord? Him shall He teach in the way that he shall choose. 13. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. My eyes have ever toward the Lord, for he shall pluck my feet out of the net. Turn thee unto me, and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. O bring thou me out of my distress. 18. Look upon my affliction and my pain, and forgive all my sins. Consider my enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. O keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. Redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles. That was Psalms 25, 1 through 22.
Okay, anybody have any comments on it?
Yeah, this is talking about getting um, on the right path, and being that if you fear the Lord, you are basically on the right path. Because the ones who don't fear Him, it's like heathens. They have no regrets. They have no um, uh, their sins is they have no shame for it. They don't care. But if you fear the Lord, you know what He can and will do. And that's one part of being on the right path of, you know, seeing the being have grace with the Lord, the Most High.
Okay.
And yes, sir.
Anybody else? Okay, yeah, I was looking at verse 14. It says, the secrets of the Lord, the secret of the Lord is with them that fear him. So that's the secret, to fear the Lord. And he will show them his covenant. So when you fear the Lord, he's going to show you the things that you need to know and understand. But it first comes from fear, which is respect. Okay. Anybody else got anything on that? Psalm 25?
Yes, sir. And along with 14, I believe it's like he's going to share his secret that of his promise to the ones who believe in him and who fears him. It's more than a. It's, it's like it's more than just knowing who he is. It's having that. If you ever feared your parents of giving you a whooping, you're going to do the right thing because you know what's going to happen to you. And then you know your parent is going to, love you and care about you and take care of you. So if you don't fear them, you're going to do everything and go about your way and shame them by not respecting them or obeying their wishes. So that part, yes, sir. You have to have that respect, and His promise is going to be revealed to you, I- and He's going to share everything with you when you know, show Him that you do fear Him, that you honor Him, and you do respect His laws, His covenant.
Okay. We're going to do our women's hymn.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Please know that the information that is shared is intended for general, informational, and educational purposes only and is not medical advice or recommended treatment. Tonight's discussion is on lunch meat, healthy or not. I think that most of us love a good sandwich, but tonight we will learn about the good and not so good cold cuts. Lunch meats, also known as cold cuts, luncheon meats, cooked meats, sliced meats, cold meats, sandwich meats, and deli meats, are pre-cooked or cured meats that are sliced and served cold or hot. They are typically served in sandwiches or on a tray. They can be purchased pre-sliced, usually in vacuum packs, or they can be sliced to order. We all know that there's no easier home prepared meal than throwing together a sandwich with deli meat. Just layer your favorite bread with mayo, lettuce, tomato, cheese, and your choice of cold cuts, and you have yourself a satisfying lunch to eat at home or to take with you on the go. However, even though lunch meat is affordable, easy, and delicious, certain types of it have been found to be potentially harmful to your health. Avoid deli meats that are high in sodium, saturated fat, and additives. Salami, beef bologna, pepperoni, and pastrami, for example, tend to be more processed and have higher sodium content. These processed meats have been linked to an increased risk of colon cancer due to their additives and preservatives. So, while it is important to limit your consumption of cold cuts when possible, there are some healthier deli meat options you can choose on those days when a simple lunch sandwich is calling your name. One, head to the deli counter if possible. Deli sliced meat has a shorter ingredient list and is fresher. Check the ingredients on the prepackaged meat. Look for recognizable ingredients and fewer than five listed. Look for nitrate-free labels. Added nitrates have been associated with increased cancer risk. 4. Choose deli meat free of artificial colors to avoid unnecessary additives. Turkey. Freshly sliced turkey from the deli counter is a great choice. Look for organic sources with minimal added ingredients and preservatives. Chicken. Deli sliced chicken is another healthier option. It tends to have fewer additives and is less processed than some other meats. Roast beef. Lean roast beef is a good choice. It provides protein without excessive fat or sodium. So remember that moderation is key, and it is essential to balance deli meat consumption with other protein sources for a well rounded diet. If you're looking for alternatives, consider sliced turkey breast, chicken breast, roast beef, or canned fish such as tuna. Once you know the nutritional differences between your different deli meat choices, you'll be able to prepare a healthier sandwich. Tonight, I'm going to read Sirach chapter 26, verses 13 through 16. The grace of a wife will delight her husband, and her knowledge will fatten his bones. A silent woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing worth so much as a well instructed soul. A modest woman is grace upon grace, and there is no price worthy of a continent soul. As the sun, when it arises in the highest places of the Lord, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of a man's house. As the lamp that shines on the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of the face in ripe age. Tonight's discussion was on lunch meat, healthy or not, and I read Sirach chapter 26, verses 13 through 16. Shalom, everyone.
Okay, appreciate that information. We're gonna go into our current events and let's see if we have any questions on. Okay. Okay.
Now, there have been some interesting things over the last 24 hours. Now, people were talking about how the Israelis were fleeing after the attack on them by Iran. Well, they're now, I got to show this to you, they're now coming and saying that the pictures are not real. It's not them fleeing at all. It is Argentina. Those pictures are not them. The pictures are Argentina. Okay, so now I guess people reporting on these things don't know the difference between Israel and Argentina. This is the claim they're making. All right, let me show that to you. All right. this, and this just came out, y'all. Now they're denying that anybody is fleeing. It's not them, it's Argentina. So, but I want to show you some previous stories prior to this to show you that they have fled when conflict broke out. So let me stop sharing. I got something else I want to show you. All right, let me share this. All right, y'all see this? Okay, fight Hamas or flight. The Israelis fleeing the country during the war. So where did they go? They went from Israel to Rome. Some of them went to Rome. Some of them went to Cyprus, and some went to Greece. Could it be that you went to those locations because that's really where you're from? Could that be the case? This is where you really truly are from. I'm just saying, you know. Now, they fled during, and you know, we know the Israel-Hamas war is still going on, and they fled during that. But now you're trying to say it's not you fleeing, it's Argentina, which is in a whole different part of the planet. All right, I got another one to show you. Okay. All right, so Israel-Hamas war, some Israelis fled to Hungary. Oh, you went to Hungary? Is it because that's really where you're from? This is really your home? This is your real home right here, Hungary. And not only that, y'all, there's another one that said many of them fled to the Netherlands. Let's see if I can pull that one up for you. Here we go. So many of them left and fled to the Netherlands. Oh, you know, those are all European locations. All of those are Europe, Hungary, Greece. Okay, these are all places in Europe.
Japan.
And it seems to me that you're going back to your place of origin. That's where you're fleeing to. So this one is really fleeing to the Netherlands. But all of a sudden, when people are coming out with the stories saying that they're fleeing after the Iranian attack, no, that's not them fleeing, that's Argentina. But we see all of these previous articles that show that you did flee. Okay, I'm just saying. But now you're holding tight. Nobody is fleeing. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. All right.
Okay, anybody got any comments on that? Anybody saw that? I kind of talked about it a little bit last night, but okay, we got another one right here. I thought this was pretty interesting. Okay.
Details about the investigation into body parts found in Milwaukee County.
A severed leg was found on a beach on April 2nd, and it had been preliminarily identified to belonging to 19-year-old Sade Robinson. The Milwaukee
this would be a wake-up call for the sisters right here.
County Sheriff's Office and Police Department did hold a news conference a little bit ago this morning.
Let's go into that press conference that happened just moments ago.
Morning, folks. I'm James Burnett, spokesman from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. I am here with Milwaukee County Sheriff Danita Ball, Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman. A little bit of housekeeping really quickly. You probably know this. If you don't, you probably should not be here. Sheriff Ball, Benita Ball. Chief Norman, Jeffreynorman. We good? Great. Okay, so we're here for a briefing on the ongoing investigation for human remains that were discovered early last week, and again, all the subsequent information that has come after that. I have to tell you, this briefing may be brief because there are a number of questions we may not be able to answer. That said, Sheriff Ball, Chief Norman will give you what they can, and on that, I will hand it off to the Sheriff.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Today, we're going to give a brief update regarding the severed leg that was found and some of the human remains that have been found throughout Milwaukee County. As you know, on April the 2nd, at approximately 5:29 p.m., Milwaukee County 911 dispatch received a call from Cudahy Police Department regarding a severed leg at Warnemont Park. It was near the golf course and the pumping house. And so the leg was amputated from the around the hip down. And as a result, the leg appeared to be that of an African-American female. Subsequently, a Milwaukee police officer who was aware of our investigation raised the possibility that the leg may be related to a missing person investigation that they were conducting, and that missing person was Sade Robinson.
Okay.
Why don't you own commercial real estate? Yes, you. Why don't you own?
Anybody heard anything about that?
No, sir.
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay.
Yes, sir. She was only 19 and he was like 30 something.
30.
Yeah,
Right.
I know he was 30. Yeah.
Is that something? Okay. Let's listen to a little more.
Wednesday, April the 4th, our investigation led to a person of interest, Maxwell Stephen Anderson, who lives in the 3100 block of South 39th Street, where he was arrested after a traffic stop near the home. A search warrant was conducted. The severed leg has been preliminarily identified as belonging to Miss Robinson. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Robinson family, friends, and the Milwaukee community who have embraced this family. We are sorry for your loss. It's such a tragic incident. Our investigators have worked around the clock on this investigation. As a result of their diligence and with the help of our criminal justice partners, the District Attorney's Office issued charges today against Maxwell Stephen Anderson for first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson of property other than building. He remains in custody. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office would like to thank all of our partners involved in this investigation, specifically the Milwaukee Police Department, the Cudahy Police Department, the Kenosha Police Department, the Madison Police Department K-9 Unit, Great Lakes
day in Milwaukee, and the last question was, this is got to be very difficult for those involved in this identification of these body parts being found around the county. And I'm glad they clarified that there's no indication that there are multiple victims. It's just the timing of positively IDing all of the body parts.
ID'd one part and not another.
Yeah, the leg and the rest is still pending, but there's no indication that there's other victims here. Michael Schaefer, there does seem to be enough, obviously, to charge this individual. They met at his workplace. It doesn't sound like they worked together. Not quite, we're not sure where he worked, but this was a first date turned fatal, according to the criminal complaint. Your thoughts here on what's next here? And he's got a lawyer. What's next for both sides?
Base, because whenever police make the move that they make now, we were just analyzing this last week on another case. Whenever you see police make the moves that they're making now, they're pretty certain, right? That doesn't mean it's a guarantee that you're going to get convicted, but it does mean that it does guarantee you that they're confident in their case for them to make the move, right? And so this person basically now, we're going to start seeing the evidence come out. The investigation is still ongoing, right? And so we really don't know the extent of the evidence, but they feel pretty confident to charge him. Obviously, right? Double jeopardy would apply if you charge somebody, you go to a trial and they get acquitted, right? I mean, then at that point, if evidence comes out later on, then they've already been acquitted, it's done, right? So they seem pretty confident. So the next steps are us basically just seeing it lay out there, and then they proceed with the charges.
Okay. Any comments on that? Any feedback?
I don't want to keep saying it's sad, but it is, because us as Black women, we don't realize that they mean us no good. And when I say that, he was, like I say, 30-something-year-old white man. And from his picture, he looked a hot mess. He looked crazy. But, Black women are 6 times more likely to be killed than white women. So we are on these dating sites and, meeting people at different places, because it say something like they went out to eat or something, and then they went to a sports bar. So she was only 19. So first of all, she shouldn't have been in the sports bar. But I'm just saying, we don't realize that they mean us no good. And and they found her body parts scattered, all over Lake Michigan. And then he set her car on fire. So he was just looking to me for a Black woman to kill, to see, that knows that may have not even been his first time. He got away with it and he did it again.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I think what's going to happen with this situation is the body parts are going to lead to other body parts. They ain't going to match, and they're going to find out it's other victims. Because the way he done this ain't his first time doing it. So yeah. So I think it's going to be other victims coming up out of this. But the first thing I thought about was, first of all, the commandment or the law that was given to us by Moses and the Lord of hosts, was that don't let your sons marry their daughters, and don't let your daughters marry their sons. And so we got an example of that when Japhet defiled Noah's wife, because when you understand the story, he raped her. So it wasn't Noah's nakedness. He saw Noah's wife as his nakedness. So we know what they was doing before the flood. And so when they got off the boat, he raped Noah's wife. And then went on about his business. So you say, well, what you talking about? Well, I want to read this story right here. I don't know if too many people are familiar with it, but it's in the scriptures. It's in Genesis chapter 34. So it's about Dana. It's Jacob's daughter. He had 12 sons and one daughter. It says, and Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bore unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, this Gentile, when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hittite, prince of the country, saw her, notice what it said, saw her, right? We already know how the Israelite women looked at. So when he saw her, he took her and laid with her and defiled her. So same thing we're looking at right here. And he says, and his soul cleaved unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and he spake kindly unto the damsel. So let's look at her. He met her, strong-armed and raped her, you know, saying, so you can't rape somebody without bruising them up. So he bruised her all up and defiled her. And then now verse 3 says, these the people. You gotta understand, then go to the scriptures. What Jacob said. What Abraham told Jacob. They don't have no understanding in them. So he did all this first. Then verse 3. His soul cleave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto her. What the hell that got to do with anything? You already beat the hell out of her and raped her. But you love her. And you talking kindly to her after the fact. Say anyway, verse 4 says, and Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. Okay. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter, and now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not be done. So I read out of this story, chapter 34, I read 7 verses, and you can already see how throwed off we is. We ain't nowhere in this area right here. We ain't there. Verse 7 says, I'll read that again. Sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved and and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which the thing ought not be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you, give her unto him. So here goes this the daddy. This is why the son's so throwed off, because the daddy told you, the son raped another man's daughter. Now you coming to them trying to get them to give over to him. So all you have to do, if you had any kind of intellect, was look at where that your daughter. You don't want nobody to rape your daughter. Well, he's not already raped him and did everything under the sun to her. Now he gonna tell Jacob to give her over to him. See that? And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get ye possession therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what shall ye say unto me? I will give. Whatever you say unto me, I will give. Ask me neither so much dowry and gift, and I will give according to all ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sisters to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if you will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughter unto you, and we will take your daughter to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. And our words pleased Hammer, and Shechem Hammer's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hammer and Shechem, his son, came unto the gate of their city and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them to our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us to dwell with us, to be one people. Every male must be circumcised as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours only? Let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. Okay. And unto Hammer and unto Shechem, his sons hearkened all that went out of the gate. Sons hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and the male was circumcised all that went out of the gate of his city. Okay. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that the two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dana's brethren, took each man his sword, and came up upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hammer and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dana out of the Shechem's house, and went out. And the sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their children, and took their sheep, and their oxen, their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little sons and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, we have troubled, Jacob said unto Simeon and Levi, ye have troubled me, to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, should he deal with our sister as with a heart? So when I saw that video, that's what that reminded me of, except that this was when Israel was they had zeal and fighting them before we got curses put on us. We docile now, but that's how the Israelites were before we came over here. Any comments? Okay. Anybody familiar with that story?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with it.
Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Got some need to know information right here.
How intelligent one could be. Many have argued that if there is a difference in physical abilities between races, there shouldn't be reason to believe that there wouldn't be differences in mental abilities between races. However, intelligence expresses itself in so many different ways, and there are many manifestations for it to be proven. Yet many scientists claim that race can be used to measure intelligence to some extent. Why would anyone use race to arrive at absolute scientific facts fallacious, despite other variables? Join us as we uncover Why Black people have the highest IQ. Blacks are more intelligent. There is a big controversy based on the bell curve, written 20 to 25 years ago. In the book, it was argued that there are racial differences in intelligence, specifically with Asians being the highest, followed by whites and then blacks, and that that's just the way it is because it's largely genetic. Thus, it was believed that no social adjustments could change that. However, available statistics show that blacks are always at the bottom of any racial IQ test. Although many global studies have been condemned for lacking adequate data from the black race, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, the findings are often used to infer. While Asians are always at the top of the echelon, they are closely followed by the Jews and then Latinos, and lastly, Africans. For almost a decade, the average IQ for Americans has been 103, among Asian Americans 106, Jewish Americans 113, Latino Americans 89, and Black Americans 85. Globally, roughly the same pattern is repeated. Whites 100, East Asians 106, and Sub-Saharan Africa 70. In 2013, a survey was carried out to ascertain the primary sources of difference in IQ between whites and black people, and who has the highest IQ and is more intelligent. On average, 47% of the correspondents agreed that IQ was due to genetic differences. Genetics may play a significant role, while environmental factors also contribute. Some individuals are hesitant to acknowledge genetics, especially when it reveals unfavorable traits among minorities. There's a reluctance to confront this reality. Moreover, there's an erroneous notion that social programs are futile because they can't alter genetic predispositions, which is absurd and, frankly, racist. Recognizing that part of the issue lies in socioeconomic disparities, not just genetic makeup, is essential. During a conversation with Jordan Peterson on cognitive inequality, the topic of IQ differences between groups arose. Peterson specifically addressed why discussing this topic is perceived as dangerous. It's akin to suggesting that certain racial groups are inherently inferior intellectually, which understandably sparks outrage. Some interpret such discussions as an attempt to justify disparities in outcomes by attributing them to inherent differences between racial populations, a notion that's deemed offensive and unacceptable. However, intelligence is multifaceted, encompassing various dimensions beyond what IQ tests measure, such as emotional intelligence and temperament. Therefore, relying solely on IQ as a measure of cognitive ability may oversimplify the complexity of human intelligence. Another level of caution involves broadening the scope of inquiry beyond cognitive ability to encompass many factors influencing social outcomes. Focusing solely on cognitive ability risks overlooking other crucial contributors to success, such as perseverance, impulse control, and adaptability. In essence, approaching research on cognitive inequality with skepticism and recognizing its limitations is essential to prevent its misuse and ensure a more nuanced understanding of human intelligence and societal disparities. For example, consider visual acuity, which refers to how well one can see without corrective lenses. This ability varies among individuals, with some having better vision than others. Visual average IQ scores differ from population to population. Race scientists assume that IQ is fixed at birth and genetic in origin, and they also think that it measures general intelligence. Therefore, Black people may have the highest IQ, and Blacks are more intelligent. However, none of these assumptions hold up. Research among separated single-egg twins shows their IQs are similar when raised in the same middle-class environment. However, in the few cases where they've ended up in families from different social classes, their IQs vary significantly, in one case by 20 IQ points, in another by 29. Other studies have also shown that the IQs of children adopted into middle-class homes rise significantly, and that these increases can persist into adulthood. While genetic factors play a role, corrective lenses offer a means to equalize visual capabilities among people with different natural endowments. Can influence gene expression across generations. For instance, if a grandfather experienced famine, his descendants might have a higher risk of obesity. These findings underscore the complex interplay between genetics, environment, and societal factors in shaping individual outcomes.
Okay.
it was the best of times.
Consequences of discussing racially defined natural differences in intellectual performance. Some argue that such discussions may fuel divisive and unsavory politics, and framing the discourse to avoid emphasizing these differences is preferable. Although dismissing such research as politically sensitive can be seen as a form of intellectual cowardice and could perpetuate racist ideologies, on the other hand, there's a concern that funding or undertaking such studies may inadvertently lend credibility to supremacist views. Imagine Einstein being dissuaded from pursuing his theory of special relativity out of fear of its potential implications. Similarly, discouraging biomedical research for fear of unintended consequences could hinder medical breakthroughs. Ultimately, it's dangerous to grant politicians unchecked power over the direction of scientific inquiry. While there are valid concerns about the societal implications of certain research, stifling inquiry based on speculative fears sets a troubling precedent. We must uphold the principles of intellectual freedom and allow research to proceed with appropriate ethical oversight on issues like Black people having the highest IQ and Blacks being more intelligent. Rules should be established to regulate handling biologically sensitive and potentially dangerous pathogens in laboratories in Wuhan or elsewhere. Although one shouldn't depend on laissez-faire policies to ensure safety, one mustn't let the fear of political backlash lead to suppressing scientific inquiry. Doing so could lead to ignorance and a poorer society in the long run.
So we see right here in this video it's another lie right here. They've been saying forever and a day how the Chinese supposed to be so intelligent and the white man, and they got us at the bottom of the food chain. But the latest research and latest scientific evidence shows that Black people are more intellectual than all other races. They're far superior than them. But they, like I said before, they've been 2,000 years they've been lying to us. And we've been taking it in and believing it. Like I said, all they doing is saying things, telling you things, but we absorb it and take it in, and it affect our day-to-day life. But we believe it. Any comments? Okay, open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything they want to talk about? Something they heard or came across? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back over that Elohim thing, because I think it's like that's the golden egg, you know what I'm saying, in this room. That's the golden egg in this day and time, is how they tricked that off, because that's what gave us, that's what so many people dealing with Yahweh Shai and dealing with the New Testament and all that, because it's simple understanding right here, this word Elohim. Okay, so I talked a little bit about it last night, but I'm gonna go back over that again, get more clarity. Anybody got any comments before I start? Okay, good. So here we go.
About the Bible for the past millennia is wrong. It turns out that the Bible has been completely misinterpreted from Hebrew, and a whole new story opens up when you consider the literal translation.
That is nothing like the qualities of God revealed by Jesus and those who wrote for him in the New Testament.
This is just the start of a few revelations made by a Vatican Bible translator that changes absolutely everything. So join us as we explore the findings of two scholars, Wallace and Maro Biglino, who have found something that carries profound significance for our comprehension of human existence and our cosmic role. The scholars. One of these two scholars is Paul Wallace. Paul Wallace is an author celebrated internationally for his bestsellers. He is also a host of Fifth Kind TV, offers life coaching, and is an avid researcher. His literary works delve into world mythologies and ancestral tales, seeking to unravel the mysteries of human beginnings, our latent potential, and our cosmic connection. As a prominent figure in the church, Wallace contributed as a church doctor, theological educator, and archdeacon within the Anglican Church in Australia, and is recognized for his extensive...
I want to inject something right here right quick. When you hear that word cosmic, which means cosmos, it ties you to the cosmos. We Israelites, with melanin in us and the pineal gland, you can't, if you don't have no pineal gland, you're not cosmic. So the Creator gave us that pineal gland for a reason. The pineal gland is what makes the melanin. It's like a portal. That's how the angels are able to come and cause us to have dreams and convey things to us through that pineal gland. Everybody don't have it. So when you start talking about humans and everybody all the same and being cosmic, it ain't working. Okay?
Publications on Christian mysticism and spirituality. His eloquence as a speaker has garnered him acclaim at global summits and conferences. George Noory praised his revolutionary 2020 publication, Escaping from Eden, comparing it to Erich von Daniken's influential Chariots of the Gods. This sent Wallace to global recognition as a prominent authority in the study of ancient alien contact. The success continued with his 2021 follow-up, The Scars of Eden, which also enjoyed international bestseller status and further endorsements from von Daniken. Wallace's interviews and documentaries have captivated audiences worldwide, numbering in the millions. The other scholar is Vatican Bible translator Maro Biglino. He is an Italian scholar who has dedicated many years to translating, publishing, and presenting at conferences. His journey began with the translation of Masoretic Hebrew manuscripts for the Catholic publisher Edizioni San Paolo, a task of considerable complexity. Biglino's expertise lies in his analysis of the original Hebrew texts, exploring the nuances of their linguistic meanings as opposed to the numerous subsequent interpretations of the Bible and church history. His work encompasses a range of topics, including conspiracy theories, ufology, and theories regarding ancient astronauts. Maro Biglino is an individual of undeniable influence in contemporary discourse, both within Italy and on the international stage. He has openly acknowledged that his conceptual framework draws heavily from the pioneering works of Erich von Daniken and Zecharia Sitchin, two figures known for their unconventional theories. Biglino's intellectual journey is marked by a long-standing dedication to the scholarly examination of religious texts, a pursuit he has engaged in for approximately 30 years, underpinned by a foundation in classical studies. His scholarly endeavors commenced with his work on the San Paolo translations, which brought to light 17 books of the Old Testament based on the Leningrad Codex. This work set the stage for his subsequent publications and lectures across Italy, showcasing the findings of his research. So what is Mauro's contribution to Hebrew translation? Well, his most significant and controversial suggestion is that the prevailing interpretations of the Bible are flawed, saying that historical mistranslations have obscured the true messages of the ancient texts. Biglino showcases his evidence and insights in many ways, including books, videos, and conferences, reaching audiences worldwide. His meticulous analysis of Hebrew scriptures has yielded translations that challenge traditional interpretations, advocating for a literal rather than symbolic understanding of the Bible. This will make more sense as we go further into his work. Biglino's approach to biblical analysis is characterized by a hypothetical framework, often employing the phrase, "let's pretend that," as a starting point for his explorations, which operate under the premise that the Bible we know today differs significantly from its original form. His work does not delve into the realms of religion or spirituality. Rather, it focuses on a literal translation of sacred texts, leading to a provocative claim that has stirred considerable attention: that the Bible doesn't talk about God. According to Biglino, the Bible narrates the interactions between the family of Jacob, also known as Israel, and a being named Yahweh, who is part of a group called the Elohim. Yahweh, under the directive of the group's leader, Elion, is tasked with governing the people of Israel. Biglino presents this interpretation in a straightforward, unambiguous manner, distinguishing his work as unique and unequivocal. What's most interesting is the meaning of the word Elohim, according to Maro Biglino. However, before we dive into Maro's
what's better for eliminating embarrassing toenail fungus, Lamisil or Sporna?
understanding of the word, let's take a step back and see what's generally accepted by the public. What is Elohim? Within the Christian tradition, each name ascribed to God is reflective of a distinct facet of his divine nature. Despite the existence of only one deity, the authors of the Bible employed a variety of names to describe this singular entity. Among these, Elohim stands out as a term frequently invoked in the sacred texts. It is present in the opening verse of Genesis, where in the beginning Elohim created the heavens and the earth. This word Elohim shows up approximately 2,750 times throughout the Old Testament. The designation Elohim conveys the notion of one who is the supreme one or mighty one. Its application extends beyond the singular deity to encompass human leaders, judicial figures, and even celestial beings. The usage of Elohim does not exclusively refer to the unique God, but serves to denote any being demonstrating sovereign authority or formidable strength. That said, Maro Biglino has shown us a different meaning of Elohim, or more accurately, he provides us with the literal meaning of Elohim. According to him, Elohim is not singular, it is plural. Let's take a deeper look into what he means, the truth behind Elohim. As a reminder, Maro Biglino is a distinguished and often debated figure who has devoted decades to the meticulous translation of ancient biblical Hebrew for Edizioni San Paolo, a preeminent European publishing house specializing in religious literature. Despite lacking formal academic qualifications, Biglino's passion and deep interest in ancient texts have established him as one of Italy's most esteemed Bible translators. His approachable and enthusiastic scholarship has lit the path for many seeking to comprehend the Bible's original messages. He is not to be mistaken for a conspiracy theorist, as his credentials speak volumes for his knowledge and expertise in this field. So what does he say about the Bible? Biglino offers a unique perspective on the Bible's true meaning. He says that there are inherent uncertainties we face when interpreting the text. Our limited understanding of the ancient scriptures means that we should look for a deeper exploration of the subject, according to him. Furthermore, Professor Garbini, a Semitic philology expert at La Sapienza University in Rome, suggests that Hebrew is a South Phoenician Canaanite dialect, one of several within the Canaanite language family. Our knowledge of Hebrew is based on its reconstruction at the end of the first millennium AD, known as Majority Hebrew.
So notice what he said there. The Hebrew language has been reconstructed. Okay.
During that era, the focus was not on the linguistic structure, but rather on the theological implications shaped by the diverse strands of Judaism. So as a result, Biglino says that when we read the Bible, We are not engaging with a text governed by grammatical rules, but one that has been molded by ideological influences, where
So when the prophets and our forefathers wrote all this down, it wasn't about no church. When these people came, the Gentiles and these Edomites came, they trying to impose a certain ideology on you. That's where it all got switched off at. So we already understand that from the beginning, when you first come into this understanding who you are, that they don't want you to. They already hoodwinked the New Testament. But what so many people don't understand is, in order to do what they did in the New Testament, they had to change the Old. When they say JC, and they say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, they had to go back because that wasn't what was there. They had to go back and set the narrative and change the plot of the story in order to make it look like it's one supreme God. They want you to think that, like I was saying before, when we get into this a little more, you're going to see that you got all these other beings, angels, that the Creator had created and formed in the beginning, and a lot of them is doing. They got characteristics and roles. I'll read you some of that in a minute. And so they came and told us, like I said, that's all they did. Wrote it down and said it. But it's not true. That's Yahweh. Every time something happens, it's Yahweh. If it ain't Yahweh, it's Jesus. So let me play a little more of this and I'll show you.
Grammatical precision was not a concern for the original authors. This is particularly relevant when considering the evolution of grammatical rules over time, such as those pertaining to the term Elohim. While inherently plural, it has been singularized within the biblical context for reasons that remain debated. Biglino, however, insists that Elohim should be understood as a plural term and not translated as God. Edizione San Paolo's publication of 17...
So it don't matter. It don't matter who, if it's a Chinese, or Mexican, or African, or whoever, when they see the word Elohim, it got one meaning. Like he's saying. It's plural. So let's go and look at it. It says I read this yesterday. We go back over and make it plain. It says in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, right? It says, okay. If you got any questions, let me know. Stop me. Okay. So 126 says, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, over the cattle, over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So we said, let us. So it's more than one of them. But what they did was bouncing off of the pagan civilizations, because all of them, you had Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. You had the triune gods, which is pagan. You had you had Isis, Osiris, and Horus. There's three gods you had. You had Nimrod, Samantha, and Topaz. You had all these triune gods. That's where this Trinity come in at. It's pagan. But our forefathers, Abraham and all them before the flood, knew that it was a group of beings that they were dealing with, that Yahweh had made, Most High had made in the very beginning. Where he didn't actually make them, he formed these 7 angels. Formed 7 angels in the very beginning. It was him. Then he formed these 7 angels from himself because he's pure fire. And I showed you that in Genesis. Let me get it. I showed you that in Genesis, Ezekiel chapter 1. It says, okay, look at it. So we're dealing with Elohim. You know what I'm saying? When you understand what this word means, you know, it destroys a lot of things that you've been told you. So Ezekiel, see, chapter 1. Ezekiel chapter 1 says, verse 25 says, and there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, and when they stood and had let down their wings. So I'm referring to verse 4, where it's a cloud, 4 angels, and it's 4 big creatures inside the cloud, and the Most High. So it's 5 beings inside that cloud. So every time you see that cloud, the Creator ain't the only one in there. The Most High ain't the only one in there. You got these four angels, because right here we see they got wings. In verse Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 25, and there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, and when they stood and had let down their wings, see that? So these angels. And above the firmament that were over their heads was the likeness of a throne, and appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne, so it's a man, somebody on the throne. The likeness of the throne was a likeness and appearance of a man above and upon it. And I saw, so right here, like I said, they already lied to you and said no man saw the Most High. Well, Ezekiel looking at him right here. I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, and for the appearance of his loins and even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. So his waist, from his waist upward and his waist downward, I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and he had a brightness round about him. So he saw the silhouette of a man, no flesh on him, because that's the Most High. He don't have no flesh on him. He's pure fire. So in the very beginning, he made 4 angels from himself, and that's why I was going to take you. This is why one of the reasons why the book of Enoch is banned. So I'm in the book of Enoch, and you can. Enoch tells us right here. This is the book our forefathers read before the Gentiles got hold to our records. So Genesis chapter Enoch chapter 20 says, these are the names of the holy ones, right? So 7 holy ones that he made in the beginning to do all his bidding for him, because he can't interact with humans, because he's pure fire. He'll burn you. You can't deal with him. He'll burn you up. This is the purpose he formed these 7 beings right here. Says, these are the names of the holy ones. Uriel, right? And I'm gonna go to the book that I wrote and give you their characteristics. I'll read that because it's important. So we got Uriel, Raphael, Raguel, Michael, Seraquel, Gabriel, and Remiel. So you say, what you talking about? If you notice, all 3 of them got L on the end of their name. So EL is singular, 1. When you say Raphael, that's 1 angel. You say Uriel, that's 1 angel. You say Gabriel, that's 1 angel. But all 7 of them, 7 L's together is Elohim. And Yahweh, the creator, the Most High, ain't no Elohim. And JC ain't no Elohim. And these angels right here ain't subject to JC, because he a figment of these Gentile imagination when they concocted him. He's not greater than these 7 angels. He's the first 7 the Creator made. They do all his bidding. So what I want to do, I'll go to my book. I'm gonna read the characteristics. And like I said, this is what they done to rule it. For them to concoct JC, they had to denigrate these angels and their roles and the power that they possess, because it would eliminate what you telling me about him. He got a son. So anyway, you go to. I'm in my book. I'll read it. Let me give you this character. Somebody say something.
Yes, sir. Shalom, page 8 in your book.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start reading the characteristics. So the first one, the first angel that he formed was Michael. That's why he's and I read in Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, the great prince. That's why he's the great prince. He's the first one, the first son of God that was the Most High made. Right? No other angel like him. His name means he who is like Yahweh. He's like Yahweh. He ain't Yahweh, but he's like Yahweh. Okay, that's who earth. That's who Israel dealing with, not Yahweh. So it says, Michael, one of the holy angels, who presides over human virtue, over humans, commands the nations. So he the one went and got Nebuchadnezzar. He the one went and got Cyrus. He's the one going and getting these nations and bringing them, and he the one destroying these nations, not Yahweh. But they didn't told you it's Yahweh. He the one came to Abraham in Genesis 18. Then he went on to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because that's part of his characteristics, part of his role. So, and he says, and he's the Lord of the archangels. So it's 7 archangels. That's the council that they talk about in Daniel chapter 2. The council was given and Nebuchadnezzar was found guilty. So it says he is the commander-in-chief of the heavenly army and the archangels. Michael means one who is like Yahweh or one who looks like Yahweh. He is the defender of the elements of fire and an angel of protection, justice, or righteousness, strength, mercy, repentance, sanctification. He is the prince of the angels and of the angelic host. He is the angel of deliverance. So he got a redeemer right there. He's the angel of deliverance, the redeemer of Israel, the great prince who's standing for the children of Israel. That's Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. Okay. Archangel Michael is figured, let me see. Archangel Michael is figured as the greatest and most revered angel in the scriptures, in the Tanakh. Michael is the most powerful of all angels. He is considered the general of the angels, the Lord of hosts. His authority is not solely restricted to the angelic ranks, but extends into the realms of both heaven and earth. This is on the right hand side of Yahweh right here, the Most High. Michael is the chief of the order of virtue and the prince of the present. He is a natural enemy of all that is evil and unjust. That's why he went to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, because it was evil and unjust. His role as an archangel is one of battle, and he's always holding a sword. Michael is benevolent in nature, and his role as a warrior often requires him to be wrathful as well, for which Yahweh appointed him as the holy ruler of heaven and declared him the angelic prince of Israel. Okay, so right here, you got so many people out of ignorance saying that the God in the Old Testament ain't the same as God, JC in the New Testament. And what I'm showing you right here, this why, because who you think is the God of it's not, it's Michael. And like he said, his role is he's a warrior. That's why he carrying a sword. So this who was talking about David when he says David is a man after my own heart. David is a warrior. He's a warrior. And it's not even dealing with Yahweh or the Most High. This is over Israel right here. So Gabriel, one of the holy angels who presides over paradise and over the cherubim, this angel is second in the rank, only to the mighty Archangel Michael. Gabriel means my strength is from Yahweh. Gabriel is the angel of death and vengeance. He is the angel of death and revelation, revealing. Gabriel was one tasked with raining down fiery destruction upon the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. So notice it says he's the angel of death. So when the Most High, when they was in Egypt, and he said the angel of death is gonna come, put the blood on your doorpost. This is what it is right here. They want you to think it's the Most High. They made it one God, one singular God. When you're dealing with 7 angels, that's the Most High God. That's wreaking havoc. They're all through the scriptures, but they've been written out of the story called the JC. So It says Uriel is one of the holy angels who presides over clamor and terror. The name Uriel means the fire of Yahweh or the light of Yahweh. So Raphael means Yahweh has healed. He is known as the protector of the Eden tree. He is the angel of light. He loves love and happiness, prayer, as his name suggests. Raphael is an angel of healing and medicine, learning and knowledge. So go back to Uriel. It says he is a holy angel who presides over clamor. His name means fire of Yahweh. So guess what? When the story of Elijah with the priest of Baal, he told him to take a sacrifice and cut it up and then call on their God for fire to come down. And it ain't never happened. Then Elijah called for fire to come down from heaven. This is what it was. Right here. Because they got you thinking it's all same person, same being. And they all working. These seven started in Genesis. From day one, they was there. And they wrote them out the story. So anyway, 5, Remiel, also known as Jeremiel, is one of the holy angels. Remiel is the angel of hope, and he is responsible for divine visions. So when David and them and Jeremiah and Ezekiel and all them have these visions, this will bring the visions. Right here. Okay? And like I said, they roles, when you understand what's really going on, they roles interact. He is called Jeremiel, he is the bearer of instructions of the 7 archangels. Remiel means Yahweh's mercy. Remiel also serves as the angel of death. So his role interacts with Gabriel's role, right? Death, who sometimes joins Michael, see that, or other angels in escorting the soul from earth to heaven, or vice versa, from heaven to earth, when a baby born. They're the ones bringing the soul, putting it in the baby. Or when a person at their end time of their life comes to an end, they're the one that guide the soul back to where it came from. When it tells you that Abraham was gathered unto his fathers. This is who gathered, right here, these angels. Serakel is one of the holy angels who preside over the spirits of children of men that transgress. Serakel means the command of Yahweh, and his name always means the one who prays to Yahweh. He is the angel of prayer, methods by which to pray to Yahweh. So all this going on, the whole time, however old you is, this is the truth of the matter. They got you off on some more stuff, but this is the truth of the matter. This is what they was dealing with. So I went to the script to show you some of this stuff. Like for example, we're gonna go to when the 70 elders was on Mount Sinai, okay, in the book of Exodus. Okay, let me get it. I think it's around chapter 25. Yeah, chapter 24 of Exodus. It says, this is when Moses and the elders was on Mount Sinai, right? And it says, and like I was saying, once you see this stuff, it's really elementary. Once it's broken down, but once you see it, you know, JC served no purpose. So it says, Exodus 24, and he said unto Moses, come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nebat, Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off, right? And Moses alone shall come near to the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgment, and all the people answered and with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord have said we will do. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and the 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. So notice right here, verse 4, Moses wrote all the words of the Lord. So what are you doing? It's the Torah. It's the Torah right here. He wrote the first 5 books. So this Lord, Michael, had to inform him on what had happened on the earth up until his time, his lifetime. So when you understand this right here, right, so far we're dealing with Yahweh, or the Most High, and the Lord is Michael. That's what Moses dealing with. But we're going to keep reading. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning, built an altar unto the hill, 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of the oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in the basin, and the other half of the blood he sprinkled it on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant, and he read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has said we will do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. And then here we go. Then went up Moses, Aaron, Nabu, and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel. So let's look at it. Let's go all the way in. So we say, then went up Moses, Abihu, Nabu, Nabat, and Abihu. 4 people. When we go to Genesis and we go to Tower of Babel, 4 angels. 4 angels. It's 4 angels in the cloud. So as above, so below. So 4 angels looked down from heaven and said, look what man is doing. And they saw what man was doing. They came down, 4 angels. And we see it right here, 4 elders from Israel. It's a method. It's a method to the madness. So anyway, verse 10, and this is what they saw right here. They saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet. I told you I showed you in Ezekiel chapter 1. There was the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, paved work of a sapphire stone. That's the same sapphire stone in Ezekiel chapter 1 that his throne was on. The Most High. That's how you know that's him. So in verse 2, we see that's the Lord. That's Michael. But down here, we see in verse 10, and they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, the paved work of a sapphire stone. That's the Most High. Now here you go. And as it were, the body of heaven in their likeness. That's Elohim. The other 6. So all of them there. But coming up in this matrix that he created for us, you don't see none of this. But there they go. All of them right here. As it were, the paved work of sapphire stone, and it were these 7 men that went up there, 70 elders, they saw the body of heaven in its clearness. So you can't get no singular out of a body. So what body is he talking about? Elohim. Yahweh standing on the sapphire stone, and the seven angels in front of him. Right in front of him. It's what they saw on Mount Sinai. And then we go back over here to another place right quick to go to Zechariah. I'm just going to show you that they're all over the book, right? Once you find out what time it is. So we go to Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 10. And it says, for who have despised the day of small things, for they shall rejoice and see. You can go again, see. So our forefathers, that's what they were seeing all this time. So he says, for who have devised a day of small things, for they shall rejoice and see the plummet in the hands of Zerubbabel with those 7. So what 7 you talking about? You know, you can't. 99% of the people you ask them that, they can't tell you that because it's been rolled out the scriptures. You've been brainwashed. You don't know who the 7 is. They can't tell you who the 7 is. But once it's broken down to you, you know who the 7 is. Enoch tell you who they is. Okay? And then, so let's go to one more place. And then I got some more stuff I want to bring out. So we go to Abraham, right? In Genesis. Okay? See what I said. Okay. Okay, so Abraham I'm in chapter 21, verse 22. This is a covenant that Abraham made with Amalek. The king of Gerar says, 21, Genesis 21 and 22. And it came to pass at the time that Amalek and Pascal, the chief captains of his host, spake unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. So these 7 angels that represent Most High with Abraham. That's why nothing can happen to him. That's why nothing can happen to Jacob or David. These 7 mighty angels with him, right? They got you thinking it's one man, one person, one being. Anyway, 23. Now therefore swear unto me, this Abraham talking to Amalek, here by God. So look at this. Now therefore swear unto me, here by God. So whoever this God is, he there too. This God is there too. So we're gonna make them out of idiot right here. Like the guy was talking about on the video. He says, Abraham told him, now therefore swear unto me here by God, he there, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear, right? And Abraham reproved Amalek because of the well of water which Amalek's servants had violently taken away. And Amalek said, I want not who have done this thing, neither did thou tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but today. So here you go. He just told you, swear by me, here by God. Right? 28. Abraham set 7 huge lambs of the flock beside himself. What's these 7 lambs for? Because the seven angels standing there. See that? And Abraham said, 7 huge lambs by the flock, by themselves. And Abraham said and Amalek said unto Abraham, what meaneth this? So this is what every Hebrew Israelite need to ask. And Amalek said unto Abraham, what mean these 7 huge lambs, which thou hast set before thyself? 7 archangels that's standing there with him, that you can't see. And he said, for these 7 huge lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they swore both of them. So what do Beersheba mean? 7. 7, that's what it means. So they made a covenant right there in front of these 7 angels. So let's go one more place. Numbers. Like I said, ain't no Yahushua, JC nowhere in the story. That's a Gentile, figment of a Gentile imagination. So anyway, let's see where I was going. Yeah, Numbers 24. Okay, I'm in Numbers. Come on, man. Numbers 24. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm in Numbers 24. I'm gonna start. Let me see. Let me start it. 23. Go to 23. So I'll start reading at verse 1. Numbers 23, verse 1. And Balaam said unto Balak, build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 oxen and 7 rams. See that? Now, it's justified precept upon precept. Go back to what Abraham did. Now we know what the 7 rams for. So he says, and Balaam said unto Balak, stand by thy burnt offerings, and I will go. Peradventure the Lord will come to meet me. So see that? He ain't offering some spaceship somewhere. Just like he right here, he's standing right there with Amalek and Abraham. He's standing there with Moses when Moses split the Red Sea. When Moses struck the rock, they standing there. So it says, Balaam said unto Balak, stand by thy burnt offering. This verse 3 of 23, number 23. And whatsoever he showeth me, see that? Whatsoever he showeth me, I will tell thee. And he went to a high place. And God, see that? God, the 7 angels, met Balaam. And he said unto him, I have prepared 7 altars, and I have offered upon every altar a bullock and a ram. And the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, return unto Balak, and thus shall speak to him. And he returned unto him, and lo, he stood by his burnt offering, by his burnt sacrifice, he and all the princes of Moab. And he took up his power and said, Balak, king of Moab, have brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east, saying, come, curse me, Jacob, and come and defy him. So we see right here, the 7 angels right there. So you say, what are you talking about? So all 7 of them right there. But let's go to Genesis right quick. Show you this, what's really going on. So you go to Genesis chapter 15. And Abraham talking to the Lord God, which is none other than Michael, the great prince, the Lord of hosts. He's over the Most High kingdom. He's a strong man of heaven. So verse 7 says, Genesis 15 and 7, and he said unto him. So it ain't no 7 right here. It's the Lord of hosts here. It says, and he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee up out of Ur of Chaldeans, give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, right? Whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? This is Michael. And he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove and a young pigeon. Ain't no 7 altars, because it ain't but him there. See that? And this is what they've done to us as Israelites. And this is why we ain't got no backbone, because they ain't there. Got us worshiping an idol. And our power, we ain't even dealing with our power. Okay? Any comments or questions?
Shalom, everyone. It all makes sense, Brother Leonard. And when you was talking about Abraham, Jacob, and David, how they are protected by these angels, right?
Right.
I thought about Psalms 91, one of my favorite Psalms, 91 and 11. For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee
Elohim.
in all ways. Yes.
Like that song?
Yes, all praises. Yes.
Right. So like I said before, it's not a coincidence. All 7 of these angels got El in their name. Elohim. Elof, it means one, but Elohim means more than one. So you can't call Yahweh no Elohim or the Most High. You can't call him Elohim. That's ignorance. It ain't but one meaning for Elohim. I don't care what you say it in. Hebrew, Greek, English, whatever you say it in, it only got one meaning. These 7 angels, they're Els. But they done tricked us all. So anyway, so you say let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. What's the significance of Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, all 7 of them got El in their name, right? So now let's go to the fallen angel. I'm in Enoch. I'm in the book of Enoch, yeah. I'm in the book of Enoch, and it tells you right here, their names. And they came down. Let me get it. Start out verse 6, Genesis chapter 6. Came to pass when the children of men multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful, comely daughters, and the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said one to another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and begat us children. So if you got your thinking cap on, this verse 2 says that the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said one to another, Come, let us choose us wives from the children of men. Ain't that what was said in Genesis 1:26? Let us. These angels, it's the angels up there in 1:26. Ain't no Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Okay, anyway. So verse 3, and Simjaza, who was their leader, right, said unto them, I fear ye. So check it out. Simjaza, who was their leader. Well, we know it's 7 angels over them. So these seven Elohims, they're over these group of angels right here. So he says, and Simjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed. Check it out. And I alone shall have to pay the penalty of the great sin. Pay the penalty to who? These 7 Elohims. The council. That's what he's scared of. Anyway, he says, and they answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual implications, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swore they all together and bound themselves by mutual implications upon it. And they were all, here you go, they were all 200 who descended from the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon because they swore and bound themselves there by mutual implications upon it. Now here you go. These were their names. See that? Leaders. Simjaza. Ain't no L in his name. See that? Arabaka. You got all these, they don't have no L in their name, some of them. But all 7 of those ones that the Creator formed in the very beginning, that he made from himself, they L's. Ain't no other Elohim. Okay? That's that frame. So anyway, so I just got a couple of points I want to make. So you just heard me say the children of heaven. So these angels, the angels are children of heaven in heaven. That's a place, just like the earth is a place. Well, as above, so below. What's on the earth that duplicates the children of heaven? The Levites in Jerusalem. As above, so below. Okay? Then you got Eve, right? What was Eve? A helpmeet. And what's her kind? Helpmeets. Eve was a helpmeet. Okay? Then you got, let me get it. Yeah, I said that. Els. El. You got Michael El, Raphael, Gabriel. They Els. Standing alone by themselves, they one El. Another word for that is Elof. One. But when you say Elohim, you're talking about more than one. You're talking about the 7 of them all together. So when you look at it, let's just go, for example, to the garden and the significance of that story and what happened in the garden when Eve was defiled by the serpent and Adam sinned, Adam defiled himself and all that. You think it was just Michael there? It was all 7 of them there. It's the Tower of Babel. All 7 of them was there. But these clowns got you thinking it's one person there, one being there. All you gotta do is look at the events that's going on, and you know they're all 7 of them there. When Joshua crossed the Jordan and went into the land of Canaan and started fighting the Amorites, you think they all 7 of them wasn't there? Come on. But like I said before, who knows that? I know 40 years ago, sitting in the church house, I didn't know that. Yeah. So look at the significance of that. How far to the left you was back then. How far to the left they got us. Our people. So-called mores and all them. 2024, they still hollering JC. You are the fringe when you hear that word now. Once the Most High shine his light on you. Okay? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I was had to come back and backtrack on that. I wanted to get a clear understanding of, or portray a clear understanding of what that word Elohim means. Because understanding who JC is and just important as understanding what this word Elohim means. Because it means everything. Because they lied to us and told us that they're, and the 2 men, according on the video, like I was saying last night, they see that part that is beings more than one. They put the emphasis on the Elohim part of it, but they trying to take you off to they're dealing with the fallen angels. Like when they talk about Sumner, Zechariah Stitching and all them, them fallen angels that came down. Inky and Enlil and all that. That's where they want to go with it. That the so-called architects of the universe was angels that created us, aliens. Alien, what they call that? Alien astronaut aliens or whatever they call it. No, that ain't what the Elohim is. It only means one thing. That's these 7 angels, and it ain't for no Gentiles. It's a Hebrew concept. Thinking like a Hebrew. These 7 angels: Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, female, Elohim. It ain't but 7. It ain't but 7. You got other angels, but they was created. These 7 was formed from the beginning. Like I said, Michael was the first one formed. Right. So let me give one more. I got about 10 minutes. I was going to read out of Jeremiah, but it's more important. So give you one more example. We'll just, and so when you see this stuff, like I said, don't take my word for it. You know what I'm saying? Go back and look at it, or discard it. Whatever you want to do with it. Anyway, so we in Daniel right quick. Okay. Let me show you this right here because this is big too. I'm in. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It says, chapter 4 of Daniel. This one, Daniel had a vision of gave the interpretation of Nebuchadnezzar of the tree. So I'm gonna pick it up in 13. I saw in a vision of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher. So that's what the 200 were. That's their job, to watch mankind. These 7 over them. They got roles that they have to do. So they were supposed to be watching mankind, but they 200 of them left their estate and went to lusting after women, but their job was to watch over mankind, right? So it says right here, and I saw in a vision of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher. So the A watcher, one, L, came down, and a holy one came down from heaven. So we got a watcher and one of these holy ones with him. Put JC in there. Put JC in there. Son hid in the bosom, right? Until he came and came down inside of Mary. Factor him in there. Anyway, it says, I saw in a vision of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down from heaven. He cried aloud and said, thus, hew down the tree and cut off his branches, shake off his leaves, scatter his fruit, and let the beast get away from under it, and the fowls from his branches. So we're gonna go in a little deeper with this. Get your mind right. I'm in 13 again. We know what a watch is. We know what a holy one is. This holy one is over these watchers. Watcher is like a servant. So he says, I saw in a vision of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down. Now here we go. 14. He cried. So see that? He cried. Who cried? The holy one. He cried aloud and said to what? To the watcher, hew down this tree. See that? Telling the watcher what he wanted him to do. He controlling the watcher. So you say, what are you talking about? Go back to Genesis in the very beginning. Okay, it says Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God, Most High, created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God, this is the Lord of hosts, the angel of the Lord, moved upon the face of the waters. Check it out. And God said, same thing the watcher and the Holy One did over there. The Holy One told the watcher, hew the tree down. Well, right here, God telling the Lord of hosts, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, saw what the creating spirit, which is Michael, he who can create, he saw what he did. Then he said, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning was the first day. Then he goes to the second day, and then he commanded them again. The Most High, God said, let the firmament be in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And then God made the firmament. So see that? So God telling God. That's how thrown off this is. But God telling God to do it. So we know that the Most High is commanding Michael to he says, let there be the firmament in the midst of the waters, and let the waters divide the waters from the waters. And then Michael made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the heavens. He's doing what he's commanded. That's his role. He's the creating spirit. But they told you over in John, JC doing all this. Yahweh shot. Okay? See how crazy that is? Okay? Yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. Anybody else got anything they want to inject or they want to question something before we go? We got about 10 minutes. Anybody get anything out of this?
Oh, yes, sir. Because I was going to say, out of the complete 54 book Apocrypha, right? Life of Adam and Eve. You're right. It says that all throughout that in the Apocrypha, but in the KJV, it does not. It mentions the chief messenger and then messengers. So that is what really stood out to me thinking about that. Like I said, I asked those questions last week. And chapter 27 says, or is my judgment badly judged? Then the messengers fell down on the ground and worshiped the Lord, saying, you are just, O Lord, and you judge righteous judgment. Like that really stood out to me. Now it does, but when I
Right.
was reading that, I was reading it, but not, you know, where I was paying attention a lot to what I was reading when it says messengers.
Right. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So
Yes,
so
sir.
with all that understanding, I want to show you something right here, right quick. Let's go to the Gentile book, to the New Testament, show you what these people have done. Right. So John, like John the one said Jesus did all of it wasn't nothing made except that, it went through Jesus. Okay. Now watch this. Okay, let me get it. Yeah, it's in Revelations. John wrote Revelation. Okay, so chapter 4. So this is like I said, when you understand what these people done, it's a joke. But they even told us, brainwashed us not to read these other books and took them out. But this is where they got this information from. The books they told us not to read, because if we read them, we're gonna know what's going on. But so chapter 4 is this is around God's throne, right? Remember, I just showed you what these angels, they roles, they power, they willing. These 7 angels. Now here we go. After this, I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and this John, and the first voice which I heard was as it were a trumpet talking with me, which said, "Come up hither, and I will show thee the things that must be hereafter." And immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne. I just showed you a throne in Ezekiel chapter 1. A throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. I showed you the throne. And he that sat upon it looked like a jasper, there go the sandstone stone, and then a rainbow round about the throne in the sight of thereof. This rainbow come from the covenant he got with Noah about the flood. Now here we go. 4. And round about the throne were 24 seats. Upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. Then here you go, verse 5. And out of the throne proceeded lightning and thundering and voices. And here you go. There were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God, 7 angels of God. Where's that coming from? But I want to show you something else. It says, verse 4, and around about the throne were 24 seats. What's these 24 seats? 12 apostles. Come on. The 12 apostles and the 12 patriarchs, sons of Jacob. But keep in mind, John, one of the patriarchs, one of the apostles. So he's looking at his own self. He's looking at his own self sitting around in one of these seats. Let that ferment. Show you how crazy this is. So he's looking at his own self. He one of the seats. John, one of the apostles. That's why it's 24 seats. 12 sons of Jacob and the 12 apostles. So we know Enoch was taken up in the book of Enoch. Enoch ain't see this. Enoch ain't see none of this. Did anybody read Enoch seeing this? Did anybody on the channel see Enoch see this?
No,
okay.
Sir.
So, chapter 4, verse 1. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were a trumpet talking with me. So is any trumpets talking to Enoch? Who was talking to Enoch? When the 7 angels I just introduced you to, ain't that who he's talking to?
Yes, sir.
You want to talk to no damn trumpet? You want to talk to no trumpet? Come on. Let that ferment. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we had Got 5 minutes. We got right at 2 hours. Everybody good?
Shalom. I want to go back to when you were talking about the seven angels and the Elohim and El with that and their responsibilities and their duties and how they even shared the responsibility. Gabriel sharing it with Ramel about the death um and how they're supposed to have their own duties. And I keep referring back to this book that you wrote there too, because just like we say, if it's your name and you being called, then you know your name. But if you being called and it's not your name, then you're not going to be answering. And these are the angels in which the Lord of hosts and the rest of the six, they're the ones who do the jobs, and all of these things that we might think that it's Samuel, but it's not Samuel. It could be any one of these sevens, because again, they all have a job to do, and they do it according to what they have to do.
Right. It's an order in place.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. And they ain't all for as long as haven't been up there, they haven't veered from that. Like I said, these folks got hotel records and they wrote all this garbage, and that's when the game changed. But the whole time that we was in the dark before we came to the light, they still was doing their roles. It ain't changed. Like I said, all these clowns did was wrote it. Like they got everything that JC said in red. All they did was wrote that. It don't apply to us as Hebrew Israelites. And that's what we off at.
Yes, sir. And like with the angels and their jobs, they weren't pretty jobs and heavenly jobs. They had jobs to go and tell what was going to happen, that was going to be crucial, that was going to be death defying, that was going to be life changing.
Right.
So they did what they had to do, but when we get into that New Testament, everything just cools down, and it's no more responsibility for each man for himself. So
Right.
you can connect these dots and see, especially when you go back and see the jobs of these seven angels.
Right. Exactly. And then the lie he told about humans. It's just like you plant a garden. You got collard greens and you got tomatoes and all that. Well, weeds gonna come up amongst them collard greens. You gonna just let them stay there when you know they're gonna damage your vegetables? No, you root them out. So it's the same thing with these angels doing. They want to from a Gentile perspective, they want to say that they wrathful, or they're not like the God in the New Testament. No, that's their job. That lets you know all human beings on earth ain't the same. We know that because he told us don't marry them. How can they be like us if he told us don't marry them?
Yes, sir. Because
Right.
you're gonna take on their gene and their
Right.
perspective and their way, and turn
Right.
away from the Lord of hosts. Yes,
Right.
sir.
And their origins is they descended from those fallen angels sleeping with women. So that's why he don't want us intermingling with them. So it ain't no way he sent no son to die for no mankind. That's a lie from the pits of hell.
Because those angels had a boastfulness in them. They wanted to be better
Right.
and be like, and do so automatically. When they did that, they thought themselves equal or even better. So we're getting into those women, and they're
Exactly.
thinking they're better than the Lord of hosts created, formed people, that they're better than them, and they do things that they want to do that's not becoming of the Lord of hosts.
Exactly. Is there something? Anybody else got anything before we go? Okay. So, yeah. So with that being said, I want to say shalom, everybody. I'll see y'all.
Struggling to find new leads? It's time to supercharge your lead generation strategy.
Okay. And I'll see everybody tomorrow at 7 for Clubhouse. Okay. Shalom.